Okay, so we might be live. Say hello. Hello world, this is me. Oh, you're such a gorgeous boy. So, hi, it's been one of those days. So here we are. I've got the bags of treats for the puppy. So all that rustling you hear, that's me getting the treats for the boy. Because Oliver's going to help me do this. You'll hear him chewing a little bit. Oh, no, we won't get one of those. We'll get him a schmacko. See if he likes that. So I haven't been getting a lot of sleep over the last week or so. And what I've noticed with what's wrong with me is when I don't get enough sleep, I start to feel quite sick. And then I get this brain fog happening, and I know that I should really, do the whole diet and exercise and, look after myself a bit better. But I do this terrible thing where I go around in circles. I will take this one. Hello? Oh, yeah, that'd be me. How can I help you?
It's Jennifer Scott giving you a call regarding your registration. How are you doing, first of all?
I've got no idea what you're talking about, sweetie.
I'm talking about your registration on our trading platform.
Oh, the one that I told you for 10 months now that I'm not interested. That one.
And why you are not interested, Mr. Alvey? Because I have information that you're registered here, and maybe...
And you know what, sweetie? People register for things, and then they lose interest rapidly. And when they lose interest rapidly, they would like to no longer be doing it.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Alvey? Do you have any kind of experience in trading?
I have zero experience in trading, and I'm beginning to really hate the thought of trading. Oh, by the way, I probably should be telling you that you're currently on a live stream.
Sorry, come again?
You're currently on a live stream.
And I don't understand. Do you have any kind of experience, yes or no?
What
kind of experience if you have?
I said I have no experience.
You have no experience, yes? So, you have no reason that you told me that you are not interested in, because you don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, you see, hey, before you keep being a smart ass, you do know that A, it's a free country, and B, I actually, don't have the money to do this. And no matter how many times you phone me, that's not going to change.
I can't hear your voice clearly, and please come again and speak louder a little bit.
I'm not sure why you can't hear me.
I tell that if you don't have any kind of experience, and you have no experience as I see, why you tell me that you are not interested? Because you don't know what you're talking about,
I also don't know what it's like to be a man, and I don't want to be one of those either.
I'm here to explain everything.
Are you going to explain to me how you're going to pay for me to do it?
Yeah, I will explain.
So you're going to pay for me to do it? Oh, awesome.
How you can start trading, how to get extra income,
Well, don't I need money to start?
How to generate profit.
No. Not how to generate profits. Don't I need money to start? Don't I have to put money in before I get any profits out? How much does it cost? Bottom line, how many dollars is it going to cost me?
Just a second, I will transfer you to financial department, Mr. Rosie.
Oh, thank you. I don't know. It's been one of those days. I'm just not in a good mood.
Hello, Rosie.
Hi, how much are you going to charge me? Let's talk dollars and cents.
How are you, dear?
I'm not having a good day.
Great. So, I'm giving you a call from trading platform. You spoke with my colleague, and I'm sure that she explained to you about financial market something. But first of all, just tell me, briefly, do you have any kind of experience in this field?
No, I don't want to go through all of this. I want to get to the back end. How much do you want me to pay you for the pleasure of learning how to do this?
Dear, that's a great question. However, it's not payment. This is investment with the minimum amount. Minimum is 250. However, it's up to you, which is a comfortable amount for you. If you want to start trading with 300 or 400, no one's gonna push you. It's your
So you're going to give me the money to start?
Tell you what is the minimum.
So you're going to give me the $300 to start?
No, dear. The investment. I mean, you should put this investment on your trading balance. This money belongs to you.
Yeah, well, where do I get the money from?
But about it, I will explain you later, dear. Just tell me briefly, what kind of expectation do you have from market? You know that you should put something.
No.
Oh, the good you have.
Look, if I have no money and no experience, so I need training. So how much is everything going to cost me?
Yeah, Rosie.
And did your...
For example, imagine yourself on trading. Let's forget about investment just. This is the platform which gives you possibility to make money on a daily basis. So that's why we are here to assist you and give necessary information what you need to do next. Just okay, dear.
So the necessary information I need is how to get the money to actually put into it. How does that happen?
This is the trading platform. What do you know about trading or financial market?
How much does the trading platform cost to join?
Sorry?
The trading platform you are talking about, how much does it cost?
Trading in general is we have different assets, different like platforms, different instruments and tools which you want to use. For example, have you heard about Bitcoin or the stocks or commodities, everything what has price on the financial market?
Hey, look,
You can make money, dude.
I'm not quite a dunce, but I am very broke.
Yeah, but just tell me, dear, do you have a job? It's gonna be extra income for you or primary?
Well, I have no job, that's why I've got no money.
I'm sorry, dear.
I don't have a job, so I don't have any money.
You lost job or you retired?
Oh, I wish I could retire. No, I'm afraid I cannot get a job in my profession and, you know,
How old are you, by the way?
I'm a lady and a lady never reveals her age. And I am a lady. I am Lady Rosa.
Yeah, I'm 41 years old. You sound younger than me, I think.
Oh, I like that. I'll go with that. I'm 21.
Correct. Yeah. Just tell me, like, for example, if you're gonna start trading with me, with our company, what is the comfortable amount to start trading?
Well, if you give me the money, I'm happy to start at $1,000, but I don't have any money to spare.
You know, dear, we are not giving the money to someone. This is business. You should start business with your own amount. So, do you think that I'm giving you a call? This is some kind of charity company? No.
Well,
We are the trading platform, and we give the possibility to our members, to our users, to make money. However, we just give you the assistance. We just give you the necessary information how to do it.
that sounds really cool, but I've been telling you guys since... Now, when I first signed up, I still had money, but I then realised that I couldn't afford to do this, so I told you ever since then that I actually don't have the money. And yet you're still phoning me, so now I'm assuming you want to give me money to start. That's why you keep calling me, because you want to give me the money so that I can do this.
Yeah, but what is, for example, why I should call you? For example, I have my friends, my colleagues, my family members. If it's some kind of charity, I'm gonna call to them. What's the point to call you, Rosie?
That's what I've been saying all these months.
And your own profit. Do you understand what I mean?
Well, I've been trying to explain to you.
Under your name, it's gonna be your own business, and no one like in this universe can steal your money, can like give even the financial market gives you this possibility and gives this profit to you.
Hey, look, I'm really glad that we're on the same
You
page.
and the financial market. I'm sorry.
I'm glad that we're finally on the same page after all these months.
Yeah.
Because,
You mentioned that you made a registration regarding online trading, and when it was, like several months ago, or what happened after that? Why did you change your mind?
because I did not get a new job, so I have no money. So I am broke, and I can't spend my husband's money on this.
Dear, that's why I'm here to change your financial situation, just. If you do not have money, even 250, which is minimum, which is, to be honest, nothing. It's one good meal in a restaurant. Would you change something?
I
in your
am
life?
so glad that that is one
That's
good
why
meal
I-
in a restaurant for you, because that feeds us for quite a long time.
Yeah? But dear, you do not have money for a deposit or in general, because how are you going to survive if you do not have even on your bank account 250?
Well, you see, I've got the money to survive, but I don't have the money to spend on things that I don't need.
I'm sorry?
You make choices in life. So where do you spend your money?
You should make this right decision, dear, and I'm telling you what is the right.
But you don't know anything about my life.
I'm sorry?
You don't know anything about my life. You don't know why I don't have $250 to spend on your...
Yeah, but I know that
Platform.
you do not have a job, dear, yeah?
Yeah, and that doesn't seem to make
Your
any
primary
difference
source
to you.
of income. That's why I'm here to give you all necessary information how to do it. And it's going to be primary income, and do you know what does it mean? It means that you're going to dedicate too much time for that. So that means you're going to be the successful trader. You can generate much profit. For example, if it's going to be extra income, of course you do not have time for it, enough time. However, if it's going to be primary, you can work like maybe every day, minimum 1 hour in a day, and you're going to have the good profit on a daily basis. The only one guarantee that I can give you is that you're going to be the successful trader with me.
Oh, did your mate tell
Everything
you...
else is on you.
You know, I've been trying to tell you since you first got on the phone that I am on a live stream at the moment. And I've told everybody on my live stream that I'm broke, which is really handy for the world to know.
Yeah.
So there's not much that I can do.
Yeah.
Good boy. Yes, good boy. You don't want that.
Your voice is cutting off.
Is it?
Hello?
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So we've come to an impasse. I don't have the money, and you don't want to give me the money to start using your system. So what are we going to do?
Let's make deal, dear.
Yeah, we'll make a deal.
From my side, I will give you the 250, and you're gonna put 250, not 250 from your side. How it sounds for you?
See, I don't have the 250. I've been trying to explain that to you guys. You know, I had my puppy at the emergency vet the other day, and I was lucky that I had the money to pay for him to be fixed, but that was $500. Oh, look. They didn't want the sad sack story, darling. They didn't want to hear the story about how you went to the vet, and you did. See, so back to what kind of a shit day I've had. It's been really hard for me to get anything done. I'm not in the right frame of mind. had to take Oliver to the vet at 10 to get his staples out. The poor thing's been stapled. I shouldn't say that. I went to Officeworks after that, but I didn't buy staples. Did not buy staples at Officeworks. So, but he's okay now. But because I went out, so I've got this thing where if I've got an appointment that I can't miss, I start to get distracted an hour or so before, and then after I get back, I get a bit distracted, and then I had to go out to Officeworks, and not all of my order had come in, so I've got to go back in the morning. I'm not going to do it today. And I ended up going to a kitchen shop because they're closing down for renovations, and I'd wanted to grab a couple of things, so I wanted to see if I could grab them before they actually closed the shop for, I think they're going to be closed for 6 weeks or something, so it's not a long time, but I wanted this stuff because they sell ingredients as well, so I wanted to get the stuff from them before they sort of went into this hiatus. And by the time I got back from there, I totally over everything. Oh, look, it's my good mate back. I think I'll just not answer it. They're going to keep doing this all the time now because apparently it's annoying, its value. And on there, they can't do a lot of business if they've got all this time to keep phoning people who've said, look, I haven't got any money, I'm not interested, don't want to do it. But it was a bit of a fun interlude to actually talk about them. And there's a lot of scams going around now. This one, I can't tell you what it's like. So, I'm just going to do what I need to do. The scammers get you everywhere, so you've got to kind of look out for them. It's just...
Name is Mia.
Oh, that's a bit loud, isn't it? I'll just take that off speakerphone again. So, it's really easy to get caught by scammers, and they cost you a lot of money. When we had the Royal Commission into banking, the banks were actually lending money for people to pay out to these guys. It's not a good thing. Oh, look at my boy. Look, isn't he gorgeous? He looks much bigger than he is. I don't know why. No, I'm not talking to you right now. I'm doing a live stream. Sorry. Oh, look, they've hung up. Isn't that wonderful? The reason why sometimes I answer the phone is because when they're talking to me, they're not bothering someone else. So I'll take the hit for the team. But the Royal Commission into banking was a real eye-opener for lots of people because so much came out about everything else that's going on. It's a pretty big thing, so we should really stay on top of these things, but we don't. We used to always think that if we could get a hold of the information, we'd be much better off. We'd be able to help ourselves. We'd be so much more knowledgeable. If only we knew enough. And now we've got information overload. Most of it's rubbish. Scammers are everywhere. People are, doing weird and wonderful things, just getting our attention. And we're no better off. The scams that the banks do still work because we're still told, oh, the banks don't do that. The banks are well regulated. So, very insistent. But, so the information isn't the problem. That's not the issue. The real issue is we're so distracted all the time. We've got so much going on in our lives. I've got this game on in the background. I've got my stream showing on one side. I've got OBS on the other. I've got the puppy here. I'm thinking about all of the things I've got to do, and it's all happening at once. I'm not surprised people have meltdowns. I mean, I've got a reasonably easy life. I work on my research and, I put in job applications and, do my thing. Look after the Oliver. No? We look after the Oliver, yes we do. Oh, you're so gorgeous, but you do need a bath. But, even I go a bit loopy at times over the weirdest stuff because it just piles on. It's never one thing. So as I say, Oliver got this this infection, and it came up out of nowhere. And, I ended up having to take him to the vet on a public holiday, and it was like horrible. They were a bit concerned that it had gone through the abdominal wall, but it hadn't, and it was like just one thing after another. And it just makes it hard when you already have other problems. And I can say with all certainty that everybody's got other problems as well. So when something hits you, it's not just the one thing. And for all of the people that give advice, I know that some people tend to hide their own problems really well, or they don't acknowledge they've got them in the first place. And by that I mean, put your head in the sand. That's pretty good. That's a good trick to play. But, when you try to give people advice, you always have to remember that you can only come from your perspective. You can't have lived someone else's life. You don't know what their demons are. You don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know. Just because somebody looks fit and healthy doesn't mean they are. I suffer from chronic exhaustion, and I had a telephone appointment with my specialist the other day, and he says, well, how's your exhaustion level? And I'm there, well, I'm still absolutely exhausted all the time. And I've got low body temperature at the moment, and I don't know how long that's been, whether it's caused by the accident or, or what the hell's going on there. But you sort of think, he sort of said, well, how long have you been exhausted? Let's step this back. When's the last time that you remember having lots of energy? And I said, look, to be honest, I think I was about 18, and it didn't last very long because I've been exhausted since I was about 12. I started getting really tired around 12, and I thought that it was because we'd moved into the goldfields and it was really, really hot over summer, and I thought, I'm just, exhausted from that. Doctors put it down to, being a teenager, and it's like, growing up, and nobody ever looked at it. I saw a couple of specialists over the years, and no one could ever find anything. I had to argue with a doctor for a special blood test so that they could test my thyroid properly. So in my 30s, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and then only treated with T4, and the exhaustion never left me. But I didn't have all of the other problems. So when I went through that, when my thyroid actually went, I had panic attacks for no reason. It was really horrible. And I was exhausted to the point where I literally couldn't move. One doctor said, it's just bored housewife syndrome, and I'm there. But I'm not a bored housewife. I just can't do anything because I literally am too exhausted. And, holding down a job, I couldn't do it because of my exhaustion. Every time I've worked, it's lasted like 6 months, as in physical work. Sitting on my bum in an office, that was fine. That was easy. I could do that, not a problem at all. It's the physical work. Like, I've had cleaning jobs and that, and they never... I couldn't keep it up. I literally could not keep it up because, if you're in a job, you have to guarantee you're there. You can't just say, I'm totally exhausted today, I'm having one of those days, and I'm not going to show up. When I'm exhausted, I can usually get around, doing the office work type jobs and, doing the legal type jobs. That's easy. That's not an issue, I can be exhausted and fully functioning in that role. It's all the other jobs that I couldn't do. And, I can't go out and do the gardening, which, that's so simple. And some days I literally can't do it. Some months I can't do it. So it does get a bit tiring. Anyway, so I had this conversation with the doctor, and this was on Tuesday, and he says, well, I'm starting to think that there's something else going on. So after a lifetime of being exhausted and trying to really get to the bottom of it with different tests and whatnot, they've now said, even though the exhaustion would be, one of the symptoms, by now, because you're being medicated properly, you should not have any of the symptoms. So I'm going to have to wait and see how I go. And it's literally going to be more tests, find out what's wrong, and hopefully this time they'll fix the exhaustion. It would be nice to spend a bit of time without feeling like it's a struggle to stay awake. I don't tend to sleep during the day. I did when I was on the medication for after the accident, and I did when I was had chronic fatigue, which ended up leading to me being diagnosed with Hashimoto's. But other than that, I don't do the sleeping during the day, and I probably should, because I get up at 4 in the morning, and then I go to bed totally exhausted at 8 at night, and I never sleep well. That's why I try to stick to regular hours, so that at least I have that routine. Doesn't work. So today I spent the day just thinking a lot more about what I have to do with these files that I'm putting together, because it was just today it was so many interruptions, and just trying to get on top of it didn't happen. But everybody goes through days like that. So the reason why I talked about it, and sorry about taking that stupid call, I was hoping that they'd stop doing it, but apparently not. Apparently they can sell things to people who are broke by the sheer will, and just by keeping on pounding people. I'm not sure where the business sense to that is, because even if I had the money, there's no way I would have signed up with anybody like that. I told them after I first looked into it that I wasn't interested, because it just looked really dodgy. But, apparently it's good fun to harass people for months on end. Oh, look, he thinks there's something happening. You going to say hello to everybody? You say hello. Oh, no, he's not going to say hello. Anyway, so what do you do when you're going through this legal stuff and you're so stressed that you just can't deal with it? I know people who have days where they literally cannot deal with it. They've gotten themselves into such a state that the thought of picking up a document and reading it, or filing it, or doing anything with it is just so overwhelming that it breaks them. You're having a nervous breakdown half the time. I mean, I've had a couple of those. They're never fun. I had my first nervous breakdown at 15, and being sick was the biggest part of it. So I'm not sure if you'd put it as a proper nervous breakdown or if my mental state deteriorated because I was so sick. And it's not normal for a 15-year-old to feel that sick. It's just not normal. But other people get pushed to that brink by having to deal with a court, and the court process is very strict. It's you have to do this and you have to do it this way, and if you don't follow this rule, we're just going to say no. And then, of course, nowadays they get into Facebook groups where they know people who've also gone through stuff, who've had a bad outcome, who, you know, when your case is thrown out on a technicality, it's not justice. And how do you deal with all of that stuff? And I mean, these are big things we're talking about. I mean, some people make mountains out of molehills, and there's a heck of a lot of people dealing with mountains on their own. They don't understand what's happening, and they're just super stressed. And I think the legal profession doesn't quite, like a lot of lawyers, they're so, well, no, this is what we have to do. Lawyers aren't trained to deal with the emotional fallout of clients. And I think for a lawyer's personal coping skills, it would be really good to do a counselling course, which would then help them to maybe rephrase some things that tend to trigger clients. You know, there's ways and means of speaking to clients that don't aggravate the situation. I mean, clients can come into your office and cry their eyes out. It happens. Lawyers don't see people on their best days. They never meet them in the best circumstances, you know. People who need a lawyer just aren't in a good place. I'm not sure of any jobs that are fun in the life of a lawyer, because lawyers get called in when things turn to shit. So sometimes it's a really bad match between personalities. A really busy lawyer who's under the pump might not have this whole, you know, I can be caring and wonderful and, you know, give you the time you need, because, you know, sometimes their personality isn't that way anyway. And I can get it. I do get it. It's there's a lot of things in a lawyer's life that are shit. It's a shit part of the job. When your client loses, it's not just a loss on the board for you. You know that your client is dealing with a massive fallout that's really negative. And, you know, sometimes this, you know, could I have done something different? Should I have done something different? What did I forget? Oh my God, you know, would it have been better to have argued it this way? Because people think that the law is this, and this equals. Whereas the this and the this and the this can be so many different things. And it all depends on the circumstances. So because everybody's circumstances are different, their outcomes can be different because the lawyer on the other side thinks differently. So they'll be promoting different arguments. And then you have, you know, all of the different ways of looking at issues. And then the judge will be different, and, you know, the advice will be different from the barristers. And, you know, I know that I've read of cases where I thought, why didn't they? And then, you know, you read through it, and it's, you know, in the judgment, the judge sort of says, you know, I know that the side didn't raise it, but another argument might have been a bit more persuasive, buddies. It doesn't happen often. I think it was in one where I think I read one judgment where the judge sort of went off a little bit, that, you know, the argument was a bit specious and there was a better argument to be had. I'm not sure if it was in a judgment. It was in something. I read it somewhere. And no, I'm not going to take the time to look it up. Sorry, guys. What else? There's having to deal with life as well as legal issues. It's not good. And if you've got lots of health problems on top of it, I know I've seen people who've been lumbered with being in charge of everybody else's life, and they're dealing with cancer and, you know, all the treatments and, you know, bad outlook and, you know, been given 2 years to live. But while you're doing this and trying to get to the 2 years and, you know, get sick from the treatments, you're still going to have to do all of this other stuff for these people because bag's your it. And that's a horrible place to find yourself in. And, you know, sometimes you just need to take that time out. If you've got deadlines looming and you really can't cope with anything, try to get someone to either phone the lawyer for you or see if you can get the energy to actually talk to the lawyer and say, look, I cannot deal with this today. Tomorrow I might not be able to deal with it either. When do you need me to do this by? Try not to get legal advice early because you're having one of those months or years. The longer you let a problem go, the harder it is to fix it and the more critical it is that you're right on top of it. So if you're not on top of things, the minute the shit hits the fan, you go and see a lawyer and see what you can do for yourself. Because if you let it go, it's just going to be more stressful. And I mean, I've had people phone the office and say, look, I've got a court appearance tomorrow morning, can you represent me? And it's like, yeah, don't think so. It's not going to happen. And, you know, you go and talk to lawyers and they're all telling the same stories. They're all saying, you know, these people are coming in and they've had this document for months and they've now come in and said, oh, I'm supposed to do the response by tomorrow. So from the bottom of my heart, do yourself a favour and don't do that. I know it's hard and I know the ostrich head in the sand bit sounds really good, but you're much better off biting the bullet and, you know, phoning up, getting an appointment with a lawyer, getting an opinion, and then what's the next step? And then you can take your time, you can take your days to, you know, sit on your bum and actually deal with what you're dealing with, do a bit of recovery time, look after your health, you know, your mental health, your physical health, you know, your financial health. You can start dealing with it. But while you're letting it sit there and you're not doing anything with it at all, what you're actually doing is you're adding to your stress. There's nothing worse than the fear of the unknown, in my humble opinion. Not knowing how a lawyer might look at it, not knowing how we could solve this, not knowing any of that was much worse than anything else. This whole thing was just full on. But once I was talking to a lawyer and once I got that across the line, it did get easier. I am going to love you and leave you. It's been hard for me to talk about all of this at the moment because today's been one of those days where I'm really distracted, and staying focused is one of the things that, you know, when you're not focused, it takes you hours to do something that when you're focused takes you half an hour. So I'm going to leave this. If you get anything out of it, and I doubt you will because this one was a bit rubbish, never mind. You know, like, share, subscribe, you know, and if you're involved in a legal battle, you look after yourself, because you know what, sometimes nobody else will. So I suggest you do that. Anyway, I'm going to stop and we're going to see how we go. So I think I might stop it over here first and do it that way.